Hey guys, hope you're having a great day today. My name is Daniel, and in today's video, I'd like to finally share with you some financial numbers that I've gotten over the last several months with my dumpster rental business, and we'll go ahead and get right into the video. All right, guys, so the way I've broken this down, I just kind of broke down each month that I actually did have income. Not every month so far have I actually had customers starting this business, figuring out my website, advertising. Starting in the winter had a lot to do with it as well, but just wanted to kind of break down my numbers and share with you what I have made after dump fees. I'll say this again, this is only net income after dump fees. This is not paying all of my bills. This is literally just revenue coming in after dump fees. So my situation is different than yours. It's going to be different for everybody, but I simply wanted to share with you what I've brought in, how many customers total I've had so far, and just kind of share with you the breakdown of my numbers and what's happened. I know it's easy for me to kind of get just kind of stuck and just kind of zoomed in, scoped into the nitty gritty stuff of making videos and talking about the hard stuff behind the scenes of running a dumpster rental business. But at the end of the day, it does come down to the profit. It does come down to the income, the revenue, actually being able to bring in money. And so essentially that's what this video is for. This is kind of an exciting video to share with you finally. It may not seem that exciting to you. It might not seem like that much money, but to go from $0, zero brand awareness, zero everything, starting in the winter to where I'm at now, this very first year of going through this dumpster rental business. I am just super excited for where I'm at and grateful for where I'm at as well. I hope for great things in the future, but until then, we'll stay humble and we'll just stick with what we know and just keep on growing, keep building and going forward. So without any further ado, I'm just going to give you some quick hard numbers. I'm not going to drag this out for forever. I do have some other thoughts to share with you after I give you some of these numbers, but this has been a long time coming, I'll just tell you that. And so let's go ahead and get right into the numbers. All right, guys, so since I started, I believe, my business in the middle of September of 2020, I really didn't know what I was doing at all. I just took months trying to figure out how to do a website. And so my very first customer was actually in November of all the times. It was in November. It was from somebody who I know I've worked with before with my other hustles, other businesses that I've done in the past. And so essentially after a week-long rental that my buddy used my dumpster for, it ended up being about $164 worth of dump fees. So that equated to me having a $300 net revenue after just simply one rental for a week. That was my net revenue for that month. So I only had one rental again for November. I did not have any rentals in December. Go figure. No brand awareness in the dead of winter, crazy temperatures in Indiana. Of course, there was nothing, simply because no one knew me, and also, and the few people who were actually using dumpsters at that time were few and far between, if not just, simply just going with the bigger companies. So nothing in December, nothing in January as well. I was trying as hard as I could in January, and nothing was budging at all. We had frost after crazy blizzard and snow and just everything. Seemingly no one was probably getting rentals then either. I didn't really have much to say about that. I simply don't know. We'll see what happens with a little bit of brand awareness this coming winter, but hopefully it's better than nothing in December, nothing in January. And then what happened in February was I did have 3 rentals. That included my first customer, where I talked about in my very first video, talking about where they kind of ripped me off for the dump fees portion of it. Essentially, that was fairly exciting for me, learning some of these growing pains, learning some of these hard lessons that cost money. But I had 3 rentals in February. That totaled up to $470.30 after dump fees. I was still trying to evaluate, are my prices high enough? Are they in the range of other companies? Am I actually valuing myself at the proper rate Or am I actually undervaluing the service that I'm providing, this quality dumpster that I'm able to have on wheels, put just about anywhere? Am I actually valuing that correctly? And so I believe now, looking back, I can see, yeah, I was undervaluing things. I was just desperate and just amazed if anybody said yes for any amount of money. And so that desperation has kind of gone away for me at this point. I've kind of learned that lesson, or maybe I'm still learning that lesson, but being willing to have a price and it be at a proper value for the service that I'm providing, and not be taken advantage of, not be having a charity business, essentially just ripping myself off. So that was February. I only had 3 customers then. Still really wasn't advertising, wasn't really doing much of anything. I was starting to get into Facebook ads, I believe, at that time, but really just didn't have too much of a clue what I was doing. So moving into March, I had 6 customers, and those 6 customers, one was a repeat because I actually was able to get work with a contractor. That contractor was a roofer. He used me twice for 2 homes right next to each other, because apparently his dump trailer is still in not functioning order. He's concerned about the safety of it. So he's been using me as a convenience to his business. He's apparently in no financial need. So he could go out and buy a brand new one if he wanted to, but essentially because I'm offering the service, backing it up wherever he needs it to be, next to houses, I can pull it away anytime he needs me to and go dump it. And he doesn't have to worry about that because he's got bigger business plans. He's got bigger operations going on for his roofing business. But he used me twice in March, along with 5 other customers. So technically, I guess that was 7 customers if you're looking at it per rental, but essentially 6 actual individuals. That totaled up to be $1,564.60, again, after dump fees. This is not all of the expenses I have. This is not net after everything. This is simply after dump fees. My first real month where I had multiple customers and a repeat customer with that first contractor. So that was March. And then in April, I had 8 customers. And I got to tell you, the difference between March and April for me was a little different. I got to say, I had a net revenue after dump fees alone, again, of $1,528.88. So technically, I made less money in April with more rentals. Now, how do we get to that point? Well, I remember in March, my Facebook ads, people I was talking to, I wasn't really even looking at one-day rentals at all. A lot of people in my area, they apparently are interested in one-day rentals, but I was only pushing in March 2-day rentals or 7-day rentals. Those were my only real options that I gave people. Some people asked for 1-day rentals. I might have given them some random number, maybe split it in half or 2/3 or something like that. But essentially, I was pushing 2-day rentals in March. And in April, I wasn't. I was willing to say, okay, well, this market apparently seems to have a lot more people interested in 1-day rentals. What's my time worth? What's my day rental price? Playing ball with people and learning this, with having 2 more customers than before, but yet making less money after dump fees. It was a little interesting, and I'm still trying to chew on what that really means for down the road. Do I want to continue offering 1 days? Do I want to focus and still offer 1 days, but push 2 days more often to people? Yes, if they ask for a 1 day, sure. But I'm only going to really try to talk about 2 days. What do I want to do? How do I want that to work? Because honestly, it seemed like I put a lot more effort into these 8 customers in April rather than the 6 before. And so it seemed like a lot more work. Obviously, just 2 more, drops and dumps and back and forth. But it was for less money, technically. So that's something to consider for your business. I know for me, it seemed like, man, I must have made a lot more money. Oh, I didn't. So that being said, that's something to consider. The gas, your time, 1 day rentals versus 2 day rentals, and then going from there. And so all together, net revenue after only dump fees. Again, I'll say it, after only dump fees. I have other bills. I am still partially supporting the business. It's not able to stand up on its own 2 feet. The budget for my business is not actually being able to be sustained by the business itself. I'm still supporting it financially, partially. And so my net total revenue year to date, I believe including the November rental that I had. It could be off. I'm not for sure on that, but I added it up. My net revenue was $3,563.70. I believe so far. Maybe that does not include the November roughly $300, but that's what I made so far. It seems to be increasing in customers. November had 1, and that's somebody who I knew. February had 3 people. March had 6, and then April had 8. So we seem to be going on a positive trend. We'll see so far. This month seems to be kind of dipping off a little bit here in May. But I'm just kind of still trying to learn, trying to figure this stuff out. I did just get business cards. That's another big thing I'm going to be talking about here in the future to share with you guys. I've got my website the way I want it to be set up. I've got it advertising 1-day rentals, 2-day rentals, and then I have a slot which doesn't give a price or a certain amount of days, where it's kind of a custom rental. And essentially what I'm wanting to do is if they need it more than 2 days, then we'll talk about a per day rate after 2 days and kind of go from there. I know a lot of people offer just a small increase every day after a couple of days. Some of these bigger companies, they have a much larger price, and they offer it for 14 days. But people actually don't use it for 14 days. They fill it up, in 2 or 5 days, or less than 14 days of a rental, unless it's a big renovation operation going on. But for most homeowners, they don't need it for 2 weeks straight sitting in their driveway. They're going to fill it up in a matter of a few days. And so what they do is they offer it, $10 extra every day after the 14 days. And so to me, that I can't compete with that. Being a smaller business, I have 2 dumpsters. I need them rented out each day at a higher average price than just $10 every day after 2 weeks or some of those things. So that's something I'm still chewing on, still working on myself, looking at trying to be reasonable, but also, maybe at a certain point I'm just not going to offer X amount of days, because it doesn't seem profitable, or it might not seem, it won't be profitable to me and the customer. It's going to be too high of a price for them to be willing to pay for the amount of value that they're getting from the dumpster. So a lot of these factors kind of go together. I'm still learning myself, trying to just build this business and see what works with my community, my industry here in this area, trying to be reasonable with customers, but I'm also trying to be profitable. So that kind of wraps up the actual net revenue, again, after dump fees alone for this business that I've started. I did just want to say that I did talk about that one contractor that used me twice, 2 homes right next to each other, back in, I believe it was March. He has since used me 2 times more, as well as a different roofer used me once. That was a fairly large headache. There were some issues with the utility trailer that I used, just trying to throw something out there as an option to him. I don't know how pleased he was with the end result of everything, but that was a second roofer contractor. And then a junk removal company used me on I believe a house that was being either condemned or it was being sold by the bank. Something happened. I don't know exactly what, but they cleared out the whole house and the garage, and used me once as well. So I'm getting kind of a little way into some of these more commercial accounts with folks, trying to build up a reputation with them to where maybe I can get into some bigger accounts, more consistent accounts overall. So that's exciting. That's interesting to me. Again, this video, I'm just kind of considering a victory lap, I guess, in my own mind, of all the hours, probably hundreds and hundreds of hours I've already put into this business. 35, 63, and 70 cents may not seem like it's worth it. Every business starts out in the negative. I mean, I've invested so much time, so much money, so much effort, all these things being put together to get something off the ground. I mean, starting from zero in every possible way to take flight and to actually build and grow. That takes a lot of effort. Getting a little bit more momentum and just slowly just getting the wheels turning. I always just try to picture a train. It takes a lot of force, a lot of momentum to start a train moving, going at just 1 mile an hour, going up to 2 to 3 to 4. And eventually there's a lot less resistance. There's a lot less friction that it's actually going to have to go through. Maybe I'm not using the right words, but essentially, once you get going, it's a little easier to continue going at that rate and then push forward a little bit more. And so in my eyes, I'm just thinking, man, I'm just getting this thing starting to go, and it's going to be easier as I keep building it, keep adding things to it, but it takes effort now. This is where people get shut down. They get discouraged. I only made this much money. You can't make any money in this business. You can't do this. You can't do that. It's too hard. It's too much work. Forget it. People sell their dump trailer. People just collapse in on their business. And I got to tell you, I've got some pretty deep fire in me to make this happen, to keep going, to keep building. I'm not shutting this party down. I've made $3,500, net after dump fees. Man, that's just going to be a drop in the bucket. I want to build this thing. I want to do it right. I want to build a customer base that knows that I'm providing a quality service, that I'm going to serve them, that they are my priority, that I want to be a blessing to them. I want to give above and beyond what value that what they think they're paying for. I want to go above and beyond that. I want my community to know that I'm here for them, that I'm going to go above and beyond what any of their expectations might be for a dumpster rental business. I want to blow them out of the water. So for me, that's kind of where I'm at. I don't know where you're at. I hope that this kind of encourages you to go to that next level wherever you're at. If you're behind me, if you're ahead of me, keep going. Just keep blowing through barriers. Don't give up the fight. Keep going. Keep building your business. But the real question is, can you outlast the slow times? Can you outlast the beginning stages of this? Is it going to crush you, or are you going to crush it? Do you have the patience and the willpower to learn to fight, to just go forward and to not give up? That is really a matter of your endurance. Can you endure this doom and gloom, this starting stages, this you feel pathetic and your business isn't even a real business, and the big guys are just seemingly just crushing you? Are you willing to endure and fight through this and to build? And so for me, that's what I'm going to do. I'm ready to just attack and launch and just give everything I've got into it. Whether I need to change things up, whether I need to double down on what I'm doing, this is where I'm at. This is what I'm doing. I'm excited to share this with you. Hopefully this was a help to you, as an encouragement to you as well. Fired up about it. If you can't tell, I'm ready to go forward. At the end of the day, I got to just say this: everything that I have, that I've done, that I've been able to accomplish, I owe it to God. He has just led me. He's provided. He's protected me from making stupid decisions. I owe him everything. I'm just so grateful for how he's led me through this business. I believe he's given me peace about this. He's given me the desire, and I want to serve people. I want to love people. Yes, I do need to make money and pay my bills and do what I've got to do. But to me, this is almost like a ministry. I want to love people the way I can and serve them. And through this business, I'm just excited. So with all that said, hopefully you have a great day today. If this would help you, just consider subscribing, hitting the like button if you did get value. And until next time, we'll see you later. Stay safe and God bless, guys.